Hi, welcome to my journey. Okay, I'm on my way to do another session of volunteering at the state fair, and I promise you, the second time is never as good as the first time. The first time was full of anticipation and excitement and the unknown. But this one's like, you know, I kind of know what's expected. I just now hope it goes well. Yeah. Now it's like, well, I just hope it goes well. Yeah. So, it's 77 degrees already. I'm wearing my official t-shirt. You know I don't like wearing t-shirts or jeans. So, yeah. You know, if I can't feel cute, I don't want to do it. So today, it already feels like, it's just work. Not fun, work. Because I can't look cute, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just really hoping. I'm really hoping that I just don't get too hot. Because don't put it past me to leave. I like to keep my commitments. But if I feel like it's too much like work and it ain't worth it, I'm leaving. At least that's what I'd be thinking. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But very rarely have I ever just walked out. I don't even remember a time that I just walked out. I don't think I ever just walked out. But the thought crossed my mind. Yes, it did. So, anyway, I suppose I got about a little over an hour to get there. I hope. I don't know. It wouldn't be so bad if they just, I don't know why they wanted to do a whole 5 hours. I guess some people, they want to just do a whole 5 hours. And that way, they don't have to keep up with their hours that much. That could be it. Because keeping up with 3 hours, 4 hours, people just aren't used to counting by fours. So, if I do take another shift, I don't think I'm going to take a shift in the morning. It's cooler in the morning, but I was wrestling with myself all day yesterday and all night, telling myself, you have to go to sleep. You have to go to sleep. Then trying to figure out, how early I need to wake up in order to do, at least some lightweight stretches. Am I going to make breakfast? Am I going to make a lunch? You know, and yeah, the first day, you know, all of those snacks, they could have just been, you know, like in celebration of the first day. Now they'll probably have some nuts and chips, you know, fruit bars, you know, but you know, they're not gonna have the whole sandwiches and, you know, I doubt it. They could, because that room is used for other departments that, like the city had some people down there that they paid to go down there, and they volunteered, but they got paid overtime, and I thought that was special. That's where I had received one of those dog pooper baggies, container holders. Yeah, it was nice. So I'm glad I got that. So now I can carry, you know, some dog poop bags in a well-organized way. Yep. So for me, it's like when I have to dress up like I'm getting ready to go to work, that's my determination. Hair pulled back, even my work glasses on, my aviators. Yeah, strategically attack this day. But there could be a positive side to this. The positive side to this is that, you know, I'm going in the morning, and I'll still have, you know, the whole rest of the afternoon and evening, you know, to enjoy myself, which is probably one of the reasons why some people do prefer to come in the morning time, because then they can knock their hours out and still have the afternoon and the evening time to do what they got to do. My dogs, they thought we was going somewhere. Poor things. Poor things. Wish I had a belt. I'm gonna spend most of the day pulling my pants up. That's okay. I can't find a belt, and I'm not gonna wear pants that ain't got no pockets. These pair of pants, at least they have some pockets. And you know how I feel about going someplace, and I'm not even gonna be able to have my phone with me unless I put it in my pockets, because you know you have to have a clear bag, and I don't have a clear bag, and I wasn't gonna buy a clear $8 Walmart bag, $9 with tax, just to, like I said, this might be my last time volunteering down here, because here's the thing. You can volunteer for free, or you can do some actual work hours, right? And in my mind, you know, I am kind of thinking about work hours for sure, because the increase for Social Security is $9. $9. And I'm like, what the hell is this? That's the increase? $9. I'm like, they got people out there who will spend $9 on a cup of coffee. But that's the increase that they gave, was $9. So, $9 can buy you maybe 3 more items, or one additional pack of meat. I'm not sure what the hell they was thinking, but whatever it was, it definitely was breadcrumbing. People have given $9 tips. Easily. But to give $9 and call that an increase, oh my God. Oh my God. So, I don't know, maybe it's intended to shake the ones, who can work, to get their ass out there and work. But, yeah. That's why I said, today might be my last day of volunteering. And if it's meant for me, I might try to see what's going on at the state fair. If curiosity, hits me that way. I doubt if I'm going to be curious that way. But if I am, then I will. I'm drinking a protein shake right now. Make sure I got my vitamins and stuff to get me started. For lunch, I brought a Greek yogurt and some granola. So I'm thinking I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. Yesterday, I ate half of the jalapeno cheese bagel with an egg and bacon. And it was really pretty good. It was pretty good for breakfast. And then for dinner, I cooked some chicken, a chicken breast, and had a chicken salad. So even though I feel guilty about eating, the bread, because for me, you know, bread is not good because, you know, I'm glucose intolerant. But the bagel didn't seem to really bother my digestion, and neither did, well, I hadn't tried the sourdough. I'm going to try the sourdough later on today. Later on today, I think I'll make me a hot link sub sandwich. You know, come the end of the month, I'm telling you, come the end of the month, you know, you can't really plan your meals to eat as healthy as possible, because instead, you know, you're just trying to put together, you know, something that will make you full, and, you know, based off of what you have in your house, you know. And I do have a couple of hot links, and what I had been doing, which is surprising to me, is I've really been cutting back on the cheese. Right? Normally, you know, I love cheese and I will eat cheese on everything. But I've been cutting back on the cheese. You know, I usually will add cheese, even if it's, you know, if it says it's got cheese on it, I will add cheese. Like, if I was to buy a pizza, you know, I gotta add more cheese. You know, that's just kind of how I was doing things. But I really been cutting back on the cheese. And I think, you know, I think the cheese had been more calories than I realized. And maybe, you know, it has a way of messing with, you know, my digestive system more than I realized. Because even when I was making the chili nachos, you know, I usually would dump a whole bunch of cheese, you know, on my nachos. And I hadn't done that. And it, you know, yeah, it seemed like it just made a difference in the way I felt and the way that my body was able to digest my food, making it easier or something. I'm not sure, but it feels like it was easier and it made me feel better. So I was one of those people who used to look at other folks and say, you don't like cheese? You know, everything tastes better with cheese on it, is how I felt. But maybe that was, you know, a fat calorie factor that I hadn't calculated it. Because, you know, you could kind of, you know, gauge, you know, your digestive based off of, your bowel movements. And I've been saying, things has been a lot better for me. And also, I'm glad I did go and work out with some weights yesterday, even if it was for 15 minutes. But I did kind of like an overall, quick weightlifting, assessment, but it made me feel stronger today. And I don't think I'm gonna go today and lift out with weights, but I really need to incorporate it at least 3 times a week. So my plan is to try to do it 3 times a week, in October. To go lift out with some weights. And that way, I won't feel like I'm just melting away. I do want to lose weight, but I don't want to feel like, I'm just melting away. even though I'm not really in rush hour because it's like after 9 a.m., there's still a lot of people out here on the road. 7 to 8. And before, it seemed like people were, had started restaurants. Before restaurants had started opening up for breakfast, because there used to only be a few that would open up for breakfast, right? But then everybody wanted to start opening up for breakfast. I guess people just didn't have time or wanted to to put that effort in early in the morning to have to cook. Yeah, it's 9:45. So I'm early. Sometimes I doubt myself. But, with traffic and an electrical car, I really had to just take my time getting down here. So by the time I park, I'll probably only be about 15 minutes early, which is the way I like it. Get there 15 minutes early. And I won't have to worry about rushing. Because when I rush, I'll be building up that, energy and that momentum. And yeah. A lot of people don't like that. They don't like that at all. You don't have to say anything. They can feel your energy. And to other people who are just trying to relax, it's abrasive to them. So no, I don't like being, hyped up. Especially when it's supposed to be a comfortable, enjoyable situation, or a situation where people are just trying to have a peaceful work day. Like I said, I don't see how people will sit up here and say that they could exhibit road rage and think that you can go to work and you're not radiating that that excessive energy off of your aura. So yeah, so there were people that had got paid to come down here to the state fair. Gate 5, premium parking, $30. Disabled parking, $30. Wow. So, yeah, a lot of people, they're not included. They're not included, and they are not taken under any kind of consideration when it comes to these events. You're gonna pay $30. But I guess if you come a carload, if you're a carload of people, y'all can like pitch in. Okay, we're here and it is 9:24. I'm parked. So I'm gonna sit here for about 5-6 more minutes. Then I'm gonna start walking up that way because it's not gonna really take me 15 minutes to get there. But like I said, it's never it's never as good as the first time. First time I had anxiety, I was excited, you know. The anxiety was really the unknown. That's what the anxiety came from. But now that I kind of know what to expect, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, my only hope at this point is, you know, I can keep smiling through it. You know, that's what it comes to now. Can I just keep smiling through this? Because I mean, I already know what to expect. But maybe there'll be different people coming in that will make it more interesting. And yeah, that would be nice. Did I study to try to figure out, you know, more about the butterflies? No, I did not. Like I said, you know, it might be different if they didn't have such bland uniforms. Because you know how I feel about t-shirts. I promise you, I was so tempted to cut off this collar because I like the fact that these collars will absorb sweat, right? But how it makes me feel around my neck, I don't like. Okay? The sloppiness of a t-shirt, you know, just, yeah. It just makes me feel, it makes me feel different. It makes me feel different. And I understand that if they don't have a uniform that lets people know that they are actually part of the organization, then that's kind of like a discredit to the organization. And yes, t-shirts, they are the cheapest. You know, I was definitely tempted, you know, not to wear these jeans, but anyway, I only wore them once. So I said, well, let me wear them again. Oh, yeah. And so, you know, they still had creases, and you best believe as soon as I got out and got back home, I took them off. I am not a jeans wearing person. And you know, the cute jeans, you know, they don't have no pockets. They don't. I was gonna wear this other pair of jeans, and I was looking for some pockets, and I'm like, dang, even the back pockets was small. You know, it had faux front pockets, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. That's what they do to women. They don't give women no pockets. They don't want them to feel like, you know, you need to have pockets. What you need to have pockets for? So, I'm gonna put this one away.